think we on something. I think we on something, P. I think we on something today, man.
We on something?
Yeah, we on something today. I'm gonna go ahead, tap in. Where my man Chico at?
Oh.
We holler at Keefy.
Oh, man. Know what I'm on.
Oh, you about to do your snack thing? You about to do that snack thing you be on?
That comes next.
Oh, alright. You be snacking.
Accountability. Medication lines will be 10 minutes late. Medication lines will be 10 minutes late. Please remain patient in the building. Thank you.
Come on, man. Talking crazy. Where is I don't know cuz at? Rocky Flood. Pull up, pull up. Fat Joe be tripping me out. Cousin Chick. What's up with Cousin Chick? Now I had seen a discussion on that Keefe was having with I guess somebody whose boyfriend is in jail and got the crazy bell on him, railroad him. You know, they said they had tagged me earlier, but I ain't see the post. I ain't see the post till just now. But first and foremost, like what I think that one of the things I learned about them court cases is um the preliminary hearing ain't nothing but a sham. And it's really not wise at that stage to put up a defense, any significant defense anyway, as far as like what you gonna say at trial or what the circumstance of the case is or whatever. It just be like so much, you know what I mean? It's hard to really um speak on certain stuff without the facts unless you got all the information. You know what I mean? So I tend to try to stay away from giving my opinion on certain stuff unless I know all the facts of the situation. But in general, they got the system set up where as though they say that you're guilty until proven innocent. or they say that you're innocent until proven guilty, but you're really guilty until proven innocence. You got to prove your innocence. They lock you up no matter what the person said, no matter what type of legitimacy there is behind the claim or the accusation made against you. You gotta disprove whatever they say against you. Therefore, you proving your innocence. So they lock you up, put you under horrible conditions in places like the Dauphin County Prison. They got one of the worst prison systems in the country, and give you a bail that they know you can't make. They know you can't make the. They know you can't make the bail, so they jack the bail up all crazy and had your family out there running around, had your homies out there running around, trying to scramble money up, putting houses up, and so forth and so on, to try to get you out of jail, to try to secure something that you supposed to have anyway. See how they play us? See how they play us? You got people out there that put their house up. My grandma was gonna put her house up to get me out on bail, but I had to detain her anyway, so I couldn't get out anyway. But they putting their houses up, man. I mean, like, I think people underestimate the lengths that our families and our women and even in some cases our homies will go to get that money up, get that bail money up, and and in many cases it still don't be enough. You know what I'm saying? It still don't be enough, and the system know that. They know that black people and poor people's financial structure is so poor due to lack of education and centuries of oppression and so forth and so on, that somebody get locked up, you ain't in a position to put up 10 bands or 10% or whatever the case may be. You don't have the money to do it, and they know that. So what's really supposed, there's a big petition going on around about that right now. Matter of fact, I believe it started in Baltimore. There's like a mayor or something out there that was complaining about cash bail, because what they doing, you know what I mean? Like, everybody got a legal right to not be subjected to excessive bail under the Eighth Amendment of the Constitution, and the PA Constitution and the United States Constitution. You know what I'm saying? We got a right to not be subjected to excessive bail, conditions, or any of that. All that fall under the Eighth Amendment. But they routinely violate that by giving these crazy bails out, keeping people in jail. You know what I'm saying? When really you supposed to be able to fight your case from the street. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna fight the case from prison in the first place when the law library is trash, the information on the computer is trash. LexisNexis, one of the biggest research one of the biggest research softwares that attorneys use, they only give the prisons a small percentage of the material, a very small percentage, and a lot of the material be backdated. It be out of time anyway. You know what I'm saying? So you fighting not only without having the money or the resources to get the information that you need. You're not in a position to interview your witnesses, investigate your case, or so forth and so on. You being put at a significant disadvantage all the way around the board, financially, legally, investigatively, like all around the board. They're positioning poor people and black people in particular to lose the case or to put you in such a bad position that you're going to take the deal. They coercing you. They're using the system to coerce you into, submitting, basically. Submitting to, in many cases, a lot of these charges, they ain't got no case. The police done lied. And maybe it's not, maybe it's, less common than we believe for the police to maybe plant drugs. They do stuff like that. Maybe not super often, but they do stuff like that. But in many cases, it's the white lies that they be telling that significantly impact how the case get handled. Oh, I smell weed in the car. Oh, this and this and that was in plain view, so I seized it. Or, such and such was clearly in possession of the gun or the drug. Or they be lying, and they will get on the stand under oath and lie right in your face, right in the judge's face. That's the hatred. That's how much they hate. You dig what I'm saying? Black people and people from these communities, they look at us like we their enemy. That's why every chance they get, they kill us. Who you know that just kill people the way the police be killing people if you don't got hatred in your heart? I mean, you talking about people sleeping in their beds, people with mental health issues, people with their backs turned, people. I mean, that's gangster shit. That's cold blooded mobster shit. You killing people. You shooting them dead in the head. You popping them. Sean Bell, they shot him 50 times. I think it was like on his wedding night or his honeymoon or something along them lines. You know what I'm saying? Shamia, what's up, cousin? Yeah, now I'm just speaking my view on a couple different things I seen being posted about Bell and different situations, but you know they rigging the system all the way around the board. Like we ain't gonna get that twisted. So like for me, I know that anytime I encounter anybody in the system, they gonna do one thing for sure. They gonna lie. They gonna lie on the paper. They gonna lie on the paperwork. They gonna lie on the stand. They gonna lie every chance they get. They gonna lie. That's what they do. It's part of how they make their system work. So one thing that we need to do, listen, is not no big secret. Like, don't let them keep telling you that, oh, the law is super this and super that. Yeah, it's tricky because they be lying so much. You dig what I'm saying? They lie so much, so it's tricky. They make it more tricky because they be sitting there lying all the time. But it's like anything else. If you put the time into it and you willing to try to learn, you gonna figure it out. It's gonna start making sense. It's just the structure. They kind of trick you with the structure of a lot of these different laws. I mean, even the attorneys don't even be really understanding what these legislators be writing and all this stuff, word semantics and all that stuff. You go in the library, what you see? A bunch of words. That's all they do. They masters at manipulating words. So, the best advice I could give, man, is first thing first, educate. They always say that if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. Know what I mean? They say put it in the book. They think we don't read. I done read hundreds of books. So all I did was read. Know what I mean? Cause I knew that them was the that's how they was getting me. I knew that's how they was getting me with the paperwork, with the fine print. And that's how you gotta get them back. Use their own stuff, you gotta use their own stuff against them. You arm up with the same weapons that they use against you. Oh, that's the book you talking about? Excuse me, what book? I used to ask the judges and all that. Yeah, what book is that you quoting from? Oh, that's the Pennsylvania Rules of Court. Oh, yeah, I need a Pennsylvania Rules of Court. Can you send me that? I use the same stuff that they use against me. I turn right back around and use it against them. Hold up, Yana. You said when I was here before, you said that the rules stated that yada 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 yada. Use the same stuff against them. That's why they try to hide the information. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to know what's going on because they know once we know what's going on, now we on equal standing. Now the same stuff you telling me that you using so that I can't do this. Now I'm looking right under in the footnote and it say right here there's an exception to this rule that allows me to do that. So what about that? How you feel about that, John? I used to hate my guts. You know what I'm saying? They used to hate my guts. And then, I was feeling like, so I grew up different. Anybody that know, anybody that know my family, like, I don't be wanting to say it like this, but it's really the truth. Like, I come from a family of real tough guys. Like, we was like really tough guys. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that because I mean like cliche or none of that, but we was like really tough guys for real. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it ain't no picks. It ain't no, we gonna go at them and not go at them, or we gonna bow to them or bow to them. No, like we pressing the button. If you cross the line, we pressing the button. Period. So that was like one of my biggest disadvantages when I went to prison. When I went to prison, it was like, look, man, I ain't. You feel me? Like I'm seeing a lot of people, guys that I used to look up to, like, damn, in jail he moving different. And I'm like, hold up, like I can't support, I can't be around that. And I was so stuck in that mentality, like, look, man, we ain't bound down to nothing, especially no punk from the mountains. Like, you feel me? Like that was my mentality, and it was hard for me to like really maneuver and learn the system and get to a point where I'm like, oh, all right, start controlling them in different ways to keep them in line, because that's really what you got to do. They really don't never respect you. They get to a point where they fear you, or they do what they supposed to do just because they don't want to deal with the consequences. I was costing them too much money. They was tired of me because I was costing them too much money. I was a liability. Like I could show you tons of reports and transcripts and all that where the judges is telling them like, yo, stop playing with this man. like every time y'all do something, he dragging y'all in court and he's winning. Stop playing with him. Like whatever y'all doing, y'all need to find a way to deal with him, because whatever y'all doing ain't working. Whatever y'all doing ain't working. And all that stemmed from just me learning the little games that they was playing. You know what I'm saying? They game was using the paperwork against you. That was their game. You know what I'm saying? But that's again, like that's we could talk about this for days. We could talk about this forever. You know what I mean? These people, they writing books, and they like we could talk about it forever. At the end of the day, like my whole thing, look, I fought a case for like 8 years by myself, and I knew I was right, but they didn't want to admit that I was right. So I ended up getting this lawyer. I didn't pay for him. He just believed in my case, so he helped me. And this man took me. Now, mind you, he was real good. He wasn't even a criminal lawyer. He was like a corporate law lawyer or something like that. He was in the business, but he was good at making deals. So, man, when I tell you, I was waiting in the bullpen, and he went up in the courtroom. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna try to work this out for you, man. Like, I really want to see you get out." Went up in the courtroom. Mind you, I fought the case for 8 years. He went in the courtroom and used the same arguments I was using for 8 years. Came back in 10 minutes and said, "Look, they're gonna give you a 1 or 2 concurrent time served case over. You want it?" I said, "That's a deal I'm gonna take." So I took it. I actually committed some of the crime, but not all of the crime. You know what I'm saying? Like they take one incident and jack it up and add all types of other stuff to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, yeah, give me that. But my point is, like, it's really about relationships with that court system. It's about relationships. It's about the people you know and the money you got. If your money don't get you relationships to get you in them little different circles that you need to be in, that make certain police departments back off, to make certain DAs back off, or I mean, just to get people in line and get them moving the way they supposed to be moving, they gonna railroad you. Hey, I don't care if they dislike what I'm saying, because it's the truth. Lady Liberty is the biggest whore in America. Lady Liberty's the biggest whore in America, man. If you pay her, you get justice. You know what I'm saying? You get justice. That's all you doing. You paying for justice. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I got a DA forge my signature. Forge my signature. I got the paperwork to prove it. I don't be just talking. The DA forged my signature twice because I kept winning. This dude prosecuted me like 6 times. I beat the cases five. I beat 5 cases on this dude, and he just kept prosecuting me. So so what he do on the last trial where I get convicted is instead of having a judge in the courtroom, he forges the signature to say that I agreed for the judge to not be in the courtroom doing jury selection. Then he rigged the jury because I kept going to trial. I'm like, look, man, look, they talking about you facing 20 to 40 years. Man, look, I'm not trying to hear none of that. I'm pressing a button. Give me my 12 jurors and my 2 alternates and let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Like we ain't doing I ain't got no deals for y'all. None of that. Press the button. You know what I'm saying? So he forges my signature and says that I agreed and not had a judge in the courtroom. So when I go back on appeal, I told the judge, I'm like, look, man, you could look at that and compare that to anything I ever wrote. It don't look like nothing I ever wrote. That's not my signature. He said, are you suggesting that somebody forged your signature? But I got in the transcript. This how I be talking to him. This how I be talking to him. I said, I'm not suggesting nothing. I'm telling you. I'm not suggesting nothing. I'm telling you somebody forged my signature. I ain't signing. Talking about, I'm not suggesting nothing. So he like, yeah, whatever, woo, 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 woo. Railroad my claim. So what I do, pay $3,000 for a writing expert, a top writing expert too. She went through the paperwork, did the investigation, yada yada yada, did the report. There's no way Mr. Jacobs wrote this. This don't look like nothing he ever write. I compared this, I compared that. I'm an expert. Boom, 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 boom. He did not sign this document. But the significant part is I had to pay somebody. I had to pay somebody $3,000 to prove that. Dig what I'm saying? Why should I have to pay to prove the truth? So what we doing? We paying for justice. We paying for justice. So people think I'm talking about money all the time because I'm I'm crazy about money. I don't give a fuck about money. Like I don't care. Like it's nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that this is something that we got to have. Not just for our comforts in life, but for our freedom. You dig what I'm saying? These people that live these great lives and these free lives, it's because of what? Because of money. Because of the lawyers that they got, the land that they own. They get better health care because of money. They get better legal representation because of money. They get better consideration, period, all the way around the board because of money and connections. Money give you connections. Money help you make the connection. You know what I'm saying? So when I be hearing that people been done wrong in the system, like I relate to that because I was done wrong by the system. But the only way that I got out of it was not because of justice, not because the system felt bad for me, not because the system knew that they was wrong. They was trying to keep me in there as long as they possibly could. They even kept me there 15 days after my release date. You feel me? So my thing is, if we want to protect ourselves, we gotta build the type of foundation that they recognize and that they concede to. They treat us and like they might not be enemies to us, but they treat us like we're their enemy. You dig what I'm saying? So we got to think in terms of this person or this group of people that's against us, the type of weapons that they're using us. What do we use to protect ourselves? You gotta ask yourself, like, what do I use to protect myself against this type of person? This is the type of person I'm dealing with. Now, if you come from the streets and you know you're dealing with somebody that's willing to kill, he willing to rob, he'll snatch your kid, your baby mom. I mean, like, if you dealing with this type of person, then you don't have a lot of options. You don't have a lot of options on how you gonna deal with them. So when the system show us how they feel and show us how they dealing with us, then you gotta have something comparable. You gotta have something that's gonna fit the circumstances. You need something that's gonna fit the circumstances. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. That's what makes sense to me. I could be wrong. Maybe kumbaya, you know, let's keep begging to the system is the way. Just not for me. You know what I'm saying? It's not for me. I'm pressing the button. You know what I mean? So, my best advice for people, you know what I mean, don't be going with these people be telling you, man, because these people that be selling us this dream of kumbaya, great America, all that. First of all, most of them don't believe it. Most of them don't believe none of it. They just think that you believe it. So that's what they sell you. They politicians. That's what they do. They lie. They lie for a living, and they get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? So, second of all, you gotta ask yourself, how long have you been told these same lies, these same games? We gotta break the chains, man. A lot of these chains, like, we could blame the system all we want. Yeah, they did a lot of dirty stuff. They continue to do more dirty stuff because that's the nature of the system. That's what they do. Don't expect them to do anything different. This is what they do. This is what they into. This is their lifestyle. This is what they do. So don't expect nothing different. What you gotta do is build something that works for you. Build something that works for you. You know what I'm saying? Or if you got a greater cause or a greater vision that works for you, your family, or you, your family, your people, you, your family, your people, and your nation, and so forth and so forth and so on. That's really the bottom line. But you got to do the work, and you got to be willing to do the work. The system not going to do the work. They going to do the dirty work. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, man, I ain't going to drag it out. It is what it is. Um, it's a lot of work to be done. Most of the work we need to do is right here. Most of the work we need to do is right here. They gonna tell you freedom is everywhere else. Freedom is in the sky. Freedom is in this new law that just came out. Freedom is in this politician over here. Freedom is over. Nah, freedom is right in your fucking mind. And until we recognize that, we gonna be locked up forever. Nah, man, that's what's going on. But don't pay me no mind. I don't know what I'm talking about.